Thank you very much for still staying here in the afternoon. It was a long day already. And after hearing all these wonderful women today and these wonderful people and these reflections, it's very hard to find the right words. At lunchtime I was sitting on a table which was saying, walk lightly on this planet and yet leave such a footprint that cannot be erased for thousands of years. And that's probably what we have to do. Can you put on the slide? I don't know. Yes. And sailing to opposites is a little bit what I try to do in my life, because as a lot of you, I have not had a very straight history. Actually, I came from a region where it was very polluted, and when we're talking nowadays about women's rights, we see a lot of women all over the world which even haven't the basic right to live because they have to walk for 3-4 hours for getting wood for their fires for their houses. And I was living in a region where it was very dirty because of a lot of coal mines and a lot of industry, and I was very sick. And I had a lot of coughs all the time, and I thought that cannot be right. So to have human rights is one important thing, but to have a natural environment is another important thing. And that's why I was very active on that all the time, because I think that is the basic for life. You need, on the one hand, the dignity and the human rights, and you need, on the other hand, a clean environment, and we should be one part of the environment. We should live within it, and we should not abuse it, but we should use it in a way that the nature can get it back and can live with it. And that's what one of the things I really worked on. So important point is, but that doesn't work. Yes, no, it does not. It was too quick, sorry. So an important point for me is to live in harmony, to have 3 principles. One is that we live and use nature in a way that we don't have any waste any longer, but everything we use is waste, is no waste, but is then food for something else. So that means we give nature back the elements which we use, and the materials we use again and again. And everything is produced with renewable energy, so we don't need any coal mines, we don't need any nuclear power. Here in India you have so much sun, but I don't see so much solar energy yet. And everything contributes to diversity, be it conceptual, or be it cultural, or be it biological. And it comes from these pictures, you know, from the bad environment which I felt, from the trees which died, from the smoke which were everywhere, from the rivers which were polluted, which you know as well from a lot of areas, which made me to work against this system, so that we cannot simply say, yeah, that's necessary to have growth. We need to have the right growth. We need to have the proper growth. We have to design products and production in a proper way. And that's one of the things as a ground basis for our dignity and our lives as well. So if you look at that, that is where people protested against nuclear power plants in Germany, and the police did very hard with them. Sorry, that does go always too quickly. Can it go? Yeah. And I thought, it's my right to have a clean environment. It's my right to protest. It's in the Constitution. So to have the rights to fight, for a better world, it's nothing where the police should come and do something. And that's why I get political. First, I organized Greenpeace, and that are campaigns against the pollution of the rivers, because they were so polluted you could not have any drinking water out of it. And if you fell into the water, you had to go into the hospital, because you could have been severely damaged by the chemicals which were in that. And so we protested against dumping of the materials dumped into the sea and into the rivers. Today, it's nearly standard, but a lot of this pollution is in a lot of countries still happening. And, you know, when I hear then that the children die because they are polluted, or when I see that people don't get the possibility to go to a doctor because they are so sick that they cannot help themselves, but they don't have money to do that, then I think it's a fundamental right that we have to have a clean environment as well. I don't know what it does. So, and that's why I then thought it's not enough only to protest in an NGO, but I have to go into politics. And I was asked by, you know this man probably as a Chancellor Schröder from Germany. He was before the Prime Minister of one of our lands, Lower Saxony, which is a middle-sized land in Germany. And we tried really to do these things for the people. So we tried to finish nuclear power, we tried to do renewable energies, we had the biggest amount of wind energy companies in this country. And and we tried to go out of nuclear power, which was not possible because that's a law on the federal level. And actually I had with your Prime Minister Singh one discussion on that as well, because I said, if you want to really make India the country of the future, do it without nuclear power. You can do it. You have all these good people here in this country, and you have so many innovations here, and you have so intelligent engineers and creative designers, so you can really do it. You have the people and the cultural spirit for that. So I hope he will change his mind, or any of your governments will change the mind and really go into renewable energies. And because the federal government had to change nuclear power, I went into the parliament, and I was elected by a constituency, by a rural constituency, whenever a social democrat had been elected before. But that was good because we could finish now nuclear energy in Germany, and we have now a real change in energy. And at the same time, we're really trying to do a lot to have also the human rights on a lot of courses much better than before. And that's something which is, it belongs together. I feel it belongs together. And that's why I worked when I was in the parliament, in the culture committee, as was said. And I worked also in the foreign committee, and I tried to really do the cultural exchange with other countries so that we really find common solutions, because we can only do it together. And I think that's the way we have to do it. And that's where I met also Guruji and said, we have to work together. And he has grown his organization so much, and we have to grow much more, and we have to multiplicate everywhere. And all these women from 56 countries here show that they can do it in the different countries, and we can multiply. And I think that's a very important point, to see that we can do it. And I want to encourage that we can do it, even if it is first against opposites. It is not the mainstream in the beginning. I was never mainstream. I'm still not mainstream. But we are trying to get into that, because I think people have to understand that finally that is the solution. That's what I try to do as well. Education, you said it today. Education is one of the important things all over the world, and that's where I really work on. And the lady from Afghanistan, I helped really in Afghanistan to build up schools, to bring books to especially girls. We build up a lot of schools for girls, and I really urged the government in Germany to help on that, and we did that. Nowadays, I'm working with the industry, because I think it's not enough to have good policies, it's not enough to have the legal framework, but you need the industry to change as well. So what I'm doing at the moment is to work for a cruise industry to make the whole company sustainable. So we're trying not only to get all environmental things clean, but we're also trying to get a proper working commitments for everybody, so that everybody from every country is treated fair and well and has a good working agreement. And we're doing a lot for the countries of the destinations. And I hope that will help to promote other companies to do the same, because it's always benchmarks, you know. You lose your clients if you do not the same like the other company is doing. So I hope to go on that with that. And the basis of that is basically the cherry tree. The cherry tree is abundance. Some of you said that today. Abundance is that what we have and what we love. We need the nice look of the cherry tree, and the cherry tree is useful, you know, useful for our earth. The cherry tree gets into cycles because it has blossoms which are not needed to make cherries, and it goes down to the earth and has then compost afterwards. And at the same time it's a niche for insects and birds, and at the same time it filters the air and it cleans the air and it binds CO2. So all the problems we are discussing today are represented very well in the cherry tree, and the humans have only to learn from the cherry tree and to do the same. You know, we have to do all our production, and that's why I'm organizing now association which is called Cradle to Cradle Association, which tries to get companies to work in these cycles, to have technical and biological cycles. And if you see that, we have now companies who making things biodegradable. We are making them to make things to dismantle again and then work up again. And we make also fashion. So I'm looking forward to the fashion show tomorrow, because it will be an ecological friendly fashion show. And I will take these ideas and get to those companies we are working with. And what I do as well is really to find the solutions, and find the solutions all over the world which are there. We have, I have been working with the Alternative Nobel Prize, or Livelihood Award Foundation for 27 years now, longer than this organization nearly. And I have a lot of Indian participants in that, and you know them all. It's Medha Patka or Vandana Shiva, who will come on Sunday, Ruth Manurama, or also Ella Butt, which was mentioned this morning. They are all award winners of the Right Livelihood Award, and I'm very proud to be in this committee, because we find all the wonderful people, and they show the examples, they show the solutions are there. And as Mahatma Gandhi said, there's enough for everybody, there's enough for everybody's need, but not enough for everybody's greed. That's the motto of this organization. And if we all follow these wonderful people, we have now 162 people from 56 countries, then we really can solve the world, because all the problems are solved if we follow those people. We have more, you see some of them, you know as well, like for instance here Ken Saro-Wiwa, which has unfortunately been killed because he wanted to help the Ogoni in Bulgaria. Or Monika Hauser, who helps women in all these countries where they are raped by soldiers, etc. And what we really have to do as well is to, no? Come on. Doesn't do it. How, where do I do it? Yeah, there's it. Is really to be open to everybody. I think we saw that this morning so wonderfully. We saw 2 people from different parties in India. We saw 2 different people from Sri Lanka. And here you see a lot of women in Egypt who wants to run for Egyptian parliament. And they come all from different parties. And we organized a workshop for them so that they know what to do to run for parliament. And they work together. And I think that's a very important way. That's a good way to cooperate, and women can do that, and we can do that here. We show it here. It was possible here today to see that the women in the same room could speak together, and I think the women are the ones who are the future in this century, and we really can solve these issues. So teaching is very important, and use is very important. So we have to get them. And I was looking at the college yesterday and at the school yesterday from here, and I think it's wonderful to see today the first metro driver, female metro driver here, coming from this school, here, from the school which has been created here. And I'm so happy to be part of that, and I think when we do it, we can really do it. So let's think of the cherry tree as a symbol of abundance and of solutions. And be positive and leave a positive footprint behind you, and not a negative one and not a minor one, but a good one, a positive one. Thank you very much.